Could the so-called uptick rule be on its way back permanently? In a short sale, traders borrow stock and sell it, hoping to profit by replacing the shares at a lower price. Now, the uptick rule requires traders to wait for a price increase in the stock they wanted to bet against, and some say the rule prevents so-called bear raids, where successive short sales drive prices down. Under legislation introduced in the Senate yesterday, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, would be required to reinstate it. Delaware Senator Ted Kaufman is co-sponsoring that bill, and he is joining us now. Senator, we're so glad to have you with us. Why do you want to reinstate permanently the uptick rule?
Well, Deirdre, the uptick rule was in existence for 70 years. When I was at Wharton in business school a long time ago, it was just an article of faith that one of the things you tried to do to cut down volatility and try to control just incredibly fastly falling markets was to have the uptick rule. And it's a very simple rule, as you said in the earlier. I mean, it's just a simple rule that says before you can make a short sale, there has to be an uptick.
Senator,
and,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do want to just sort of play devil's advocate here. I mean, the SEC, and I'm not saying that, you know, they are above reproach, but eliminated this rule. I mean, it was a 70-year-old provision. After they did a study, which they said was, sort of exhaustive in 2007, saying that the rule was no longer relevant because we have so much fast-paced electronic trading, and obviously technology has changed the markets. What do you say to that?
Well, Deirdre, you know, let's just start with the basic premise that the SEC made a number of really bad decisions during that period. The government made bad decisions. A lot of people made bad decisions. That's not a very good... the fact that they made that decision at the very time when we were undergoing incredible problems with the hedge funds, with derivatives, with CDSs and others is just not an indication that was a good decision. And they really say it's going to affect liquidity. We're in a market that has gone down appreciably. I mean, this is good. This is not like it's just been a little drop in the market.
But, Senator, we can't say that is all. We can't sort of pin all of the market's declines on one rule or absence thereof.
No. By the way, Deirdre, no. I'm not saying that if we had the uptick rule that we would not have had some fall in the market. Absolutely. There are much bigger issues in favor. But I am convinced we've had a lesser fall, been a less dramatic fall. And to say that they can't do it because of the fact that we have digital markets now, that's a software problem. We can set this up, the software, to do this. It was around for 70 years. And the second part of that bill, which I introduced, was to stop naked short selling. And there's a appreciable interest, even on Bloomberg today, there was a report about what went on during Lehman Brothers by having allowed naked short selling. And Bear Stearns. Exactly right. So this is just, you know, I think what's time. I think this is really, first off, Deirdre, I think substantively this is the right thing to do. I really believe it at the bottom of my being, and the people I talk to and trust believe that. But let's just say that to build faith in the Securities Exchange Commission that things have changed there. For them to move the way they're moving with a snail-like pace is just not helpful to people and to the markets. What's really important is people have to get respect in the markets and come back into the markets. That's the key thing. We have a crisis in confidence.
But I mean, short selling is never meant to, let's say, appeal to a retail investor. I mean, it's really meant to be in a professional category.
No, but I've done short selling. I mean, a lot of people do short selling. I'm saying the short selling, the indication of the Securities Exchange Commission not to move in the uptick rule, not to move on naked short selling, not to move on the other things that are in my bill, is that it doesn't send the right message to people that want to invest, little people, big people, professionals and non-professionals, that a change has come on. We have gone through an incredibly terrible experience financially in the stock market. It's time for us, all our institutions, to build faith in the fact that we have a system that works and that people can go in the financial markets and know they're going to get a fair deal.
Senator,
the uptick rule is a very... Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to sort of ask you for one last thought here before we leave. I mean, you have no problem with covered short selling, right? Quick answer.
By the way, I'm absolutely right. Short selling, there's nothing wrong with short selling. Covered short selling, I've done covered short selling myself.
Okay.
But Deirdre, when I do short sales, I have to have the stock.
All right.
And when you allow people not to do that, you have speculation.
Senator, we have to leave it there, but we thank you for your time. More in a minute on Bloomberg.